Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today, we're going to be taking a look at super microcomputer,
Okay.
SMCI for short.
Gotcha.
And believe me, their story is anything but micro.
Yeah.
We're talking about a stock that shot up
Oh.
over 300% this year
Really?
before kind of pulling back.
Hmm.
So we've got some unpacking to do about their recent performance and financials and what might be on the horizon for them.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah, so what really grabs your attention with SMCI?
Well, I think what's really interesting is how they kind of exemplify the excitement and risk that comes with like a
Yeah.
fast-growing tech company,
Yeah.
They're riding this wave of massive demand, but they're holding on tight because it's a pretty wild ride.
Exactly. To understand that roller coaster, we need to get into their latest earnings report.
Yeah, let's do it.
So their Q4 FY 2024 revenue was a mind-blowing $5.31 billion.
Wow.
Now that's a 143% increase
Wow.
from the same time last year.
Yeah.
You don't see that every day.
You don't see that every day. That's incredible.
Right.
That kind of revenue growth definitely turns heads.
Right.
It tells us they're tapping into some really powerful trends like AI,
Yeah.
cloud computing, and 5G infrastructure.
Yeah.
They're providing the heavy-duty computing solutions all those fields need.
Right. And it's not just revenue.
Right.
Their latest earnings per share, or EPS,
Okay.
hit 75 cents, which beat what analysts were expecting by a solid 2.46%.
Nice.
Now, that's usually a good sign for investors.
Well, it is, but it's important to look beyond just the surface,
Right.
While revenue and EPS are up, their gross margins are actually going down. So in Q4 FY 2024, it was 11.2%, which is down from 15.5% the quarter before, and even further down from 17% a year ago.
Hold on. Even with revenue skyrocketing,
Yeah.
shrinking gross margins sound like a yellow flag to me.
Yeah.
What does that mean for someone who might want to invest?
Well, it raises questions about how profitable they can actually be, It could be because competition is heating up or the parts they need are getting more expensive.
Right.
Maybe they're having to lower prices to compete. It's definitely a detail investors should watch closely.
So while their net income for Q4 FY 2024 was a healthy $353 million,
Okay.
which is way higher than last year's $194 million,
Yeah,
those declining margins make you wonder,
exactly. It's a bit of a puzzle.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about SMCI's stock performance and what it's valued at right now.
Okay.
As of December 20th, 2024, the stock is trading at $32.66, up 2.94% for the day.
Okay.
And their market cap is $18.83 billion.
Got it.
Their price-to-earnings ratio, or PE, is 16.
Okay.
That might seem pretty reasonable considering how much they're earning.
Yeah, but we can't forget that crazy price swing earlier this year.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
What's the buzz from analysts? Are they
Sure.
saying SMCI is a stock with growth potential, or are they kind of pumping the brakes?
Well, the general feeling is cautious optimism, I'd say. Some analysts see this recent dip back down to around $35 as a chance to buy in.
Interesting.
And get this long term. Some forecasts have them reaching $589.07 by 2030.
Whoa.
That's a potential jump of over 850%.
Are they reading tea leaves or something?
Right.
That's a bold prediction.
It is a bold prediction.
Okay, let's be real here.
Yeah.
What are the things investors should think about before they jump on the SMCI train? What could go wrong?
One word: volatility.
Okay.
SMCI has a beta of 1.44, meaning it's likely to swing more wildly than the overall market.
Gotcha.
Also, there's a lot of short interest right now, which means 17.46% of investors are betting the stock will go down.
Wow.
That can make the price jump around even more.
So you're saying SMCI is not for the investor who can't handle a little risk?
Exactly.
Sounds like it could be a big reward.
It could be.
But there are some definite risks too.
There are.
And their next earnings release is coming up on January 27th, 2025.
Okay.
It's got to be a date circled on a lot of calendars.
It is.
Analysts are predicting an EPS of 75 cents for that quarter.
All right.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves, though, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture.
Sure.
What's going on in the market overall, and how could that affect SMCI?
Right. Well, it always helps to understand the context.
Yeah.
The Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq Composite all saw gains in November, which generally points to a positive vibe in the market.
So could those good vibes help lift SMCI even higher?
They could. SMCI is in a great spot to benefit from the continued growth in areas like IT services, the building of 5G networks,
Yeah.
AI development, and all things cloud computing.
Yeah,
These are hungry markets, and SMCI's high-performance computing solutions are exactly what they need.
right.
If those sectors keep doing well, it could be a big win for SMCI.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have
It's clear that SMCI is a company with a lot going on.
a lot going on.
We've got impressive revenue growth, but declining gross margins.
Right.
We've got analysts predicting huge things for the future, but also the looming question mark of their next earnings report.
Right.
This is a stock that definitely needs a closer look before you make any decisions.
Absolutely. And remember, any investment decision should be based on your personal risk tolerance and what you're hoping to achieve with your investments.
Yeah,
Don't just follow the hype.
couldn't agree more.
So before we, kind of went to a different topic, we were talking about those broader market trends that could affect SMCI's future.
Right.
We touched on how the Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq all had a good November.
Right.
But let's zoom in a little closer on SMCI's specific playing field.
Okay.
What are some of the wins in their sales that could push their growth even further?
Well, the one everyone's talking about is artificial intelligence, AI.
Right.
It's not just a buzzword anymore. It's changing everything.
And that's where SMCI has a real edge,
Yeah.
AI requires a ton of computing power,
Yeah.
and that's their specialty. They build the high-performance servers and data storage solutions that are basically the backbone of training and running those complex AI models.
So it's not just hype. It's a real need that SMCI is meeting.
Yeah.
They're like the construction crew building the foundation
Yeah.
for the AI revolution.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And don't forget about the rollout of 5G networks.
Right.
That's another huge opportunity for SMCI.
Yeah.
5G needs a massive increase in data processing and storage capacity,
Yeah.
especially at the edge of the network, and SMCI is ready to deliver.
So they're kind of like the picks and shovels during the gold rush.
Yeah,
Everyone else is chasing the gold, but SMCI is providing the tools they need to get it.
exactly. Smart move. And let's not forget about cloud computing.
Yeah.
It's already a huge market, and it's only getting bigger.
Right.
SMCI's servers and storage systems are essential for building and maintaining cloud infrastructure, so they're right in the thick of it.
Sounds like they've got a lot of irons in the fire and they're all getting hot.
They do.
But let's be real. Every company faces challenges.
Right.
What are some things that could slow SMCI down?
Well, in the tech world, competition is always fierce.
Yeah.
SMCI is up against giants like Dell, HP Enterprise, and Lenovo,
Wow.
not to mention some smaller, more specialized companies.
So it's a crowded room.
Yes.
How does SMCI make themselves stand out?
Right.
What's their secret sauce?
They're known for delivering high-performance, customized solutions that are tailored to their customers' needs. They don't just offer a one-size-fits-all approach.
Yeah.
Plus, they do a lot of vertical integration,
Yeah.
which means they design and manufacture many of their own components.
Okay.
That gives them more control over quality and cost.
Interesting. So they may not have the same name recognition as some of the bigger players,
Right?
but they're finding their niche by being the experts and focusing on top performance.
Precisely. And that's what makes them such a fascinating company to watch.
Yeah.
They're operating in a fast-paced, constantly changing industry, and their ability to adapt and innovate will determine their long-term success.
So we've talked about the opportunities and the challenges.
We have.
Let's bring it back to our listeners who are thinking about investing.
Okay.
What are the key things they should consider when evaluating SMCI?
First and foremost, know your own risk tolerance.
Okay.
As we talked about before, SMCI is a volatile stock.
Right.
Its price can swing up and down pretty dramatically,
Yeah.
so it's not for the faint of heart.
So if you're the type who gets queasy on a roller coaster, SMCI might not be the ride for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's also crucial to do your own homework.
Yeah.
Don't just rely on headlines or what analysts are saying.
Right.
Dig into their financial reports, understand their business model, and look at their competition.
And don't forget about those upcoming earnings reports.
Right.
They can give you a real peek under the hood to see how the company is doing.
Yeah.
Their next one is right around the corner on January 27th, 2025.
Okay.
So mark your calendars.
Absolutely. That will be an important one to watch. Right.
And lastly, remember that investing is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Don't make impulsive decisions based on short-term market jitters. Develop a long-term strategy that lines up with your financial goals.
Great advice. Investing can be exciting, but it's important to stay level-headed and be informed. We've really dug deep into Supermicrocomputer today, but before we wrap up, is there anything else that stands out to you about this company? Anything that really makes them unique?
You know, their position in the hardware supply chain is really interesting. Remember how we talked about them designing and manufacturing a lot of their own components?
Right, that vertical integration.
Yeah.
It's not just about saving money, is it?
No, it makes them incredibly nimble.
Okay.
They can adjust their designs and production quickly to meet specific customer needs.
Right.
That's especially valuable in specialized markets like AI and high-performance computing.
So it's not just about being bigger, it's about being smarter and more focused.
Exactly.
That seems to be a key part of their strategy. It does, and it seems to be working, at least when you look at their revenue growth.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, there are still risks.
Right.
Can they keep those profit margins healthy? Can they stay ahead of the competition? Those are the big questions.
It's a good reminder that investing always has some level of uncertainty.
Always.
It's about weighing the potential rewards against the potential risks and making decisions that fit your personal situation.
Couldn't agree more. That's why it's so crucial to stay informed and do your research and get different perspectives before putting your money on the line.
So after all this talk about supermicrocomputer, what are your final takeaways for our listeners who might be thinking about adding them to their portfolio?
Well, SMCI is a company with a lot of potential and a really hot industry,
Yeah.
but they also come with their fair share of risk.
Right.
Keep an eye on those upcoming earnings reports. Watch those gross margins closely. Pay attention to what the competition is doing.
Right.
And most importantly, make sure any investment decisions align with your personal risk tolerance and your long-term financial goals.
Solid advice. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Of course.
It's been a fascinating look at supermicrocomputer, at the world they operate in.
It has been. It was my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in to Investing Talk Podcast.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed today's show, please hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment, and share this episode with anyone who might be interested in learning more about supermicrocomputer.
Sounds good.
Until next time, happy investing.